Okay, people, here goes nothing. What you see out there in front of you, this is a very old, these date back to about the year 2000 or earlier. This is a set of mallard wing primary flight feathers, kind of slate gray. And if you notice some discoloration, that's because they were treated years ago with feather tough from Pacific Crest fly tying, I think you get it. What I'm trying to do here, and all I've tied for the past 16 years are salmon flies, so it's going to be really tough to demo a dry fly. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. I'm going to show you how to make the mallard slip wings for a little blue quill. The only thing is I'm going to tie this on a size 14 hook, which isn't exactly a little blue quill. It's a pretty big blue quill. But ideally you want to make these on a size 18. I recommend practice and learning how to do it on at least a 14. That's why I'm going 14, because I haven't done this for at least 17 or 18 years. And what we're going to use, this is that's a large sewing needle embedded in a wine cork. What we're going to do out of these matched quills is I'm going to separate some fibers, what I think will be enough to make a decent wing. Let's see if I guess right. And remember, this is a demo, so I'm not shooting for absolute perfection here. I just want to show you something. I'm counting fibers. Looks like I got about 7. I'm going to go about the same distance here. If I go too big, all I have to do is peel some off. I'm looking to create 2 gobs of wing fiber that are about the same exact size. I hope you're able to see this. Taking it all the way down to the quick on the feather. You got to work carefully, but once you learn this technique, you can do it. These flies caught more fish for me than, well, about any other dry fly I ever tied and used. Used them during the sulfur hatch, during the green drake hatch, March brown, gray fox, you name it. I used this fly with these kind of wings. A little bit tougher than your basic post wing. Now we're going to clip that close as I can get. Looks like I got it. Yeah, come on, baby. This video is liable to be a little longer than you might want because you got to get it right. I'm just going to clip it. Okay? Boom. There's one. Now we're going to grab it. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Well, I lost a fiber on that, but I think it's doable. I think this one's doable. Yeah, you'll excuse the long thumbnail with the dirt under it. That's because when I'm fishing, you know, some of my nails are clipped and some aren't. I need fingernails, man. I have to be able to pull at knots and do things that without fingernails, I don't know, I'd have to buy a tool. And I just fished all day yesterday. That set of fibers right there might be good enough for a demo. Gonna try to get the other one off a little cleaner. Looks like I got this one. Come on, baby. Cut that thing. Jeez. Now you know why I don't use dry flies in Alaska. Got it. Now all you got to do is find it. That one flew, but it didn't fly too far. Yeah, okay, one's obviously bigger than the other, but I may just do this, or not, for the sake of a demo. Let's go again. Get another one. I'm just going to cut, and we'll peel it down to get the size I want. This might be better. See how that peeled right off the quill? Okay, now we're going to get rid of that odd fiber. That looks like a little bit better match. We're going to peel one fiber off of there. so that you want these to be basically the same size. You don't want your fly to turn out like Nemo with one big wing and one small one. Pretty painstaking. This is the same process you're using if you're trying to create married wing salmon flies. I'm trying to get one fiber, which I just did with this needle, so I can peel just one off of here. I'm hoping that gives me a fairly close match. There you see them laying on the desktop. They look close. Step 2. Got any separation there? Stroke that back together if you can. Now you want to match these up with the inside of the fibers facing one another. Remember, I'm not famous for making short videos, okay? Okay, so we got them inside to inside. Get them about the same length. That's close. Now, they are going to go in the jaws of this vise, upside down. Okay, I'm going to figure out the size I want for a size 14 hook. Yeah, I'm not ready. But hey, consider this quality time we're spending together, right? This is better than a phone call. Me trying to explain this without any imagery. Okay, so this time I actually went to the trouble to do this, so don't give me any crap about how long the video is. Okay, these are old hooks from back when Hilly's was still in business, old mustads. That's a size 14. Let's just give him a quick clamp job so we can get a size idea of how big we want these wings. And remember, you're going to practice on a pretty good size hook like this 14 I have, and then you're going to learn how to do this down to a size 18, and then you're in the strike zone. Okay, so how big do you want those wings for a hook this size? That'd work. Okay, so let's get a hold of them at about that size. Get them matched up again, face to face. There you go, not bad. One more test. Close. Now you're going to drop that hook out of there, and you're going to put these slips in there upside down. You can see they're not exactly the same size. You know, the anal retentive part of me makes me want to peel a fiber off one of them. I have to. I mean, if they're the wrong size, why do the demo? I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, God, that'll drive me nuts. Yeah? But it's not a bad kind of nuts. You know, it's not like other things in life. Okay, trying to match them up again. A lot of fun here. This is a lot of fun. Okay, we're close. Now they're going in the vise upside down. Get them in there hard. There you go. They're in. Get them even. Oh boy. I knew this would be tough. I knew this would be more than tough. But remember, I'm doing this for you. We've never even met in person, and I'm doing it. Okay, here we go. Clamp that down. Maybe they end up too long. Maybe they end up just right. Don't squash them to death. Just clamp them with your tips inside your vise. And for those of you who are admiring that vise, that's an old Thompson 360A. Basically a Thompson A vise that rotates. Now we're going to take some thread. This is 6/0, I think, could be 8/0. We're going to clip a piece of that off. And I'm going to throw just a square knot into the thread. And by a square knot, I mean a standard overhead knot, the same one you learned to tie your shoes with a long time ago before you make the bow. One tag inside the loop, and then cinch it down until you got a nice little lariat closing there. Get it close to the vise jaws. Try to get your nut to tighten right where the feathers come together. Make it tight. Tight enough. Now I'm going to open those vise jaws. I'm going to pull these out of there. They're not even. Oh yeah, they don't look bad. I've seen worse. Cinch her tight. Put a second knot in it so it doesn't come loose. Come on, baby. Go to the right spot. Got it. Now you got a set of wings ready to go on a fly. Once you get good at this, you can make a half dozen of these or a dozen of these at one time. And just leave them lay on your desktop. You've got your wings. I'll be right back. Got to get the body made. Okay, remember, this is a demo being done by a guy who hasn't tied this fly in a long time and doesn't tie anything. Smaller than, I don't know, I don't even have any finished flies laying here, but big salmon flies. Okay, I put some tail fibers on here, splayed them out. That's medium blue done, made out of this stuff, okay? And that's a Metz cape, so you want a pretty good quality hackle to do these. And for the sake of demo, I'm using a strip quill, the same quill that I took them fibers off of. I've got it stripped down. I'm going to wind it on there for a body, just for the sake of doing it. You can make these bodies out of whatever you want to use, like, heck, I don't know. I wouldn't advise peacock quill. At least use chicken hackle quills because they're tougher than peacock. Okay, let's get that boy bound in there. Boy, this is hard to do. No wonder people don't want to tie these. And my vise is adjusted to hold a pin for tying tube flies, not for dry flies. So, you know, the hook might move around a little bit, but I'm doing what I can here. Okay, now we're putting a thread build on there, hoping to keep it kind of even. So this body might actually get a little bit of taper to it, and I'm going to stop right about there so I have room for plenty of hackle and a wing set. Okay, I soaked this quill a little bit. Hopefully it won't break. Okay, looks like a half decent start. You wouldn't believe how hard this is to see. Holy mackerel. Wow. Okay, we'll get it though. Once I get away from that hook point, I'll be a lot happier. Because they are notorious for popping that little skinny quill you're trying to wrap. You ding that on that hook point a few times like I'm doing, and pretty soon that quill's going to go. Just about past it. You can probably see this better than I can. I'm like 65 now, going to be 66, and you know, hey, I'll admit it, the old eyes ain't what they used to be. But here we go. From what I can see, it's starting to look like a quill body winding around there. Again, we hope it doesn't break. Quills can be very, very frustrating, but we're getting it. Got to be careful about pulling, because of the hook wanting to move in my salmon vise. Okay, we're getting there, man. Getting real close. I mean, imagine this. I used to tie these, many of them. Okay, I'm good with that right there. I'm thinking I want to tie that off right there. So I'm going to tie that off on the underside. And then I'm going to set the wings in front of it. Keeping constant. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a challenge. Hook's moving in the vise and everything. Okay. I've got that quill gripped. Here we go. Now I got the hook secured and I can put a little tension on it, I hope. Okay. What have I got on there? 3? Let's go one more and then one in front. Then we'll trim that bad boy off of there and call it done. Not the perfect place to put a hook, but, or I mean a quill, the tie-off point, but that's life. Come on, baby, pop. Tougher than it looks. There you go. Okay, I'll hide that. That stub right there, yeah, better on the bottom, better on the top, who knows. But I'll end up hiding that with hackle. Now we're gonna use that set of wings we just made. I hope this works okay. I went to a considerable amount of trouble to do this. Okay, so we got our set of wings made there. They could be a little short for a size 14. Now I'm gonna clip those, the tag ends of that knot I've got tied on here. I'm gonna clip them off really close to the wing without chopping the wing in half, I hope. You know, whenever that happens, I give a full sermon, not just a little bit of cussing. It gets pretty intense. But like I say, it's been a long time. Okay, that's looking half decent. Remember, you're gonna wind hackle on here. So now, rather than trying to wrestle with these, oh, are you kidding me? I didn't cut that one? Yeah, it's just like being here, man. Watching this, I'm sure. Okay, get rid of that. Close enough. Okay, instead of trying to wrestle those two little pieces of feather on there individually, you've got them tied on this way. Okay, which way do you want the points? Let's go points back. Okay, so how to secure your wings on there? Now, you've already got this neat little tie-off point. Put that right on top of your hook shank, and then get that thread. I might be a little off in my proportioning here, but remember, it's a demo. Okay, get that thread right on it, and keep them babies, oop, oh, I'll be right back. Okay, right before the wings popped out of there and fell to the floor, I was trying to get them secured on there vertically. It looks like I may have, okay? So they're looking half decent. Now comes a critical move. I'm going to grab a hold of them points and I'm going to pull them up vertically and hope the hook doesn't move too much. And I'm going to build a thread dam in front of them to hold them in place. That should do it. Oh, I see one wanting to separate already, but hey, it's a demo, okay? There's perfection, and then there's your first try. This may as well be my first try. I'm going to get rid of that, whatever it is. Okay. Now that you got them vertical, it looks like you may be able to safely knock off the butts. Ooh boy. Tricky maneuver. Let's put a couple wraps behind that to secure them butts before we try to clip them. Okay, that ought to hold them in place. Now I ought to be able to do this without the whole wing moving. The clipping of materials, I don't care whether you're tying a big old salmon fly with hair wings and marabou or one of these little guys. The clipping, this is a critical point here where things often go wrong. Getting close. Let's get that last fiber. Okay. Get up there, buddy. Okay. Kind of starting to look like a fly. one more behind. Now, okay, they're kind of twisted, but you can correct that. Now we're going to go to a full-size dubbing needle. We're going to go right between those babies from the top down and spread them apart. Okay, that's looking kind of weird, but let's go. Get you some extra thread, and let's do a figure 8 in between them with your needle in there. Looks like this one could use 2. Pull that back into position and do it again. Oh, these are tied on backwards by the looks of it, but the chance of me doing this over, it really won't matter to the fish. Spread them apart. Now continue the figure 8 move. You got one that's wanting to go forward and cant itself. Pull it back into position with thread. And if it really objects, give it some help. Backwards or not, they're starting to look half decent. You're getting the idea by now. Okay, could be better, but you know what? It's been a long time. Gonna do another figure 8. Keeping the tension off with the dubbing needle. Good, now they're starting to stand up and spread apart like wings. Now these wings, when this baby's on the water, these things look like wings. They don't look like a bunch of mallard or wood duck flank. They don't look like a post wing. They look like an actual wing on a fly. And I do wish they had, hey, backwards, forwards, whichever way you get them on there. If you make a mistake like this, don't shoot yourself over it. You're getting the right idea here, I hope. And I'm going to build in front of that just a little bit more, because you don't want these to end up leaning up over your hook point. And you're going to be ahead of the game if you have a vise that'll really hold a little hook tight. As I say, this is adjusted to hold my pin for tube fly tying, and I'm not about to mess with that adjustment for the sake of one fly. Okay, close enough. Now, you see how the body was made. You got the tail fibers in there, maybe a little heavy, but splayed apart. I don't necessarily worry about them pointing downward, just so they're fanned out. Give that hook some support. Keep this whole deal floating on the surface. Now you want to look for one decent feather here that might match a 14. Boy, been a while for that too. Let's see, maybe it's this one. Let's see what we got there. Not a bad choice. That might work. Might be a little short, but it'll let your wings stand up there so you'll be able to see what I've built. And I am probably, I don't know if I'll double hackle this or strip it. I think I'm going to strip one side of this. And then do the twist move. I think it's long enough. Close. You're going to want to get closer than that. Come on, you guys are fishing dries all the time. You know what you need. So should I strip one half of it or just tie it in whole? I'm going to go whole. No sense in trying to get fancy at this point. Let's pull some of that back so I can see a decent tie-in point, I hope. Okay, that's working for me. Probably not the way you do it, but you know what? You may have never done this before. And all I'm trying to do is get this over with. Believe me, right now, I just want this to end. And I'm winding this up. I'm not doing this hackle tip deal. I'm just tying this feather in as if I was tying a great big old salmon fly. And then I'm going to call it done and say, okay, I showed you how to make those wings. don't give me grief about the way I hackled it, okay? Because I'll bet it might catch a fish. Okay, I'm tying that baby down. Then I'm going up here. I'm going to put 2 wraps on that, and I'm getting rid of that tip. And I know the traditional way to do this is I'd butt that hackle in the back end and then tie this using hackle pliers and use that tip to finish off with, so I didn't have the big heavy feather up front. But that's what happens when you tie these giant flies. As long as I've been doing it now, you don't worry about things like that. You know, the whole fly is huge, so why would I care? Yeah, this isn't going to work like I thought, but you know what? Here you go. We're winding hackle, okay? I'm going to put, what, 3 wraps behind this? I think that'll make it float. And then I'm going to twist that hackle over and transition. I'm going to get that to face the opposite direction as I wind in front. Okay, and one salmon fly aid that may come in handy here that I never used when I was tying dry flies is an old toothbrush. Let's get them out of the way, I hope. And here we go, a couple wraps in front. There's one. Okay, it's crude, okay? But remember, it was all about how to make these wings. This wasn't about how to tie a perfect Catskill dry fly. It's been a while. So I'm tying that off so I can end the pain. My pain, that is. Okay, I'm holding this so it doesn't move in the vise. I'm going to put a couple more tight wraps on that butt. That ought to hold it. Then I'm going to get that out of there. And I'm not even going to reach in there with that pair of scissors. I'm going to take that off with this Stanley blade. Come on. There you go. And I didn't cut the thread. By God, that's a plus in and of itself. Hackles in the way. Let's see what I can do about that. Get a hold of them. Pull the whole thing backwards, get it out of the eye of the hook, I hope. Let's make a head there so I can clean that off. Get rid of this junk. Okay, the hackling, okay, admittedly, the hackling sucks, okay? But remember, I was showing you how to basically make the fly. How fancy, how clean you get with this is totally up to you. Let me find a whip finisher. I might as well do this. I might as well finish it. Yep. Oh, jeez. I told you the vise was loose. I don't think it's a lost cause. Hang in there. Nice. And remember, I did this for guys on a fly fishing forum. I'll get the camera back on it. Hold on. Remember, I did this for you guys, and we don't really, other than the forum, we don't really know each other. I mean, you know, we know each other through the forum, but, you know, so, hey, I went above and beyond here. Okay, back in the vise, no harm done, man. It fell out of there. You know, the easy way to get that thread secure on there is just to, oh, I'm going to trap some more hackle probably. Oh, maybe not. There you go. Let's put a knot on there. That looks good enough. Yeah, baby. Get right up there. Pull that ugly hackle job back into shape. Yeah, it'd probably float. Could be better. But, and my wings are tilting a little bit. Needed more thread in front. And I actually needed to put those wings on the other direction, but not really. That would work. Okay, and that is, let's get my vise out of the way. That is pretty much a finished fly. Okay, you know, you got the wings. You can spread them out wider if you want, or you can leave them sticking up pretty much on the vertical, the way a mayfly really floats. You got kind of a segmented quill body. You got enough, you know, like I said, sloppy hackle job, but you got hackle on there. That'd make it float. That would catch a fly. Now, that's a size 14. And you see, you know, the level of difficulty I had. And so you can imagine making these in a, I'd practice a couple of 14s, then move to 16, then go to 18. And to have a good selection of them, I'd carry 16s and 18s, but I'd plan on fishing them 18s more. And you're going to find out that wherever you're fishing where they have a lot of blue-winged olives, there's going to be a lot of these other little dark gray mayflies in, you know, the 18 to 20 class that maybe you can't identify, and that's probably this pattern, or this pattern will suffice, the Little Blue Quill. Here's why I have a hard time with that. Here's what I tie. That, believe it or not, when that thing gets wet, that's what I'm catching salmon on right now. All yellow. You know, they call it, in Europe, they call it a banana. And once they're all wet, they kind of look like this. Kind of streaking through the water, looking like that. And that's why I have a hard time, you know, with a little bitty dry fly. Haven't tied any of them since I lived in Pennsylvania. So that's an accomplishment. Hope this was helpful. That's it.